Don't you wait to come back. 'Cause I've been gone a long time, and you never knew. You bury the house, how it all went south so long ago. You can't see it starting over again. And all along we know it's wrong, but we're not quite set in behind. Tell me if you're awake. Can I talk to you again? Tell me what's a mistakes that have made us only friends. Now I notice how you don't stay anyways. Don't you wait, don't you wait. Don't you wait, don't you wait. Don't you wait. Falls apart and yet still we start, 'cause we're not quite set in behind. Tell me if you're awake. Can I talk to you again? Tell me what's it mistakes that have made us only friends. Now I notice how you don't stay. All along we know it's wrong. Love's not DOA. It falls apart and yet still we start. That's how we play these games. So say it now if you ever will. And please don't hesitate. And just don't wait. And I've noticed now you don't stay anyways. This is for you and all the things that we've been through.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Raya SimSpeedShop Cup Series. We're live from Homestead, Miami for the America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan 210. I'm Ernest Leffy, your lead announcer for the Raya SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Joining me is the second voice of the Cup Series, Ken Kushwa, and producer Harold Garner. How's it going, guys?
What's up, man? Good to be with you again this Thursday evening. Look forward to a great race. See what happens tonight based on what we saw last week.
I tell you guys, it's been great so far in ARIA. We've had 7 races, all green flag pit stops in every division. Last night going caution free at Homestead to basically match last week's race with the Cup Series at Daytona.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that. Last week we went caution free for the Araya 500. Had a last lap pass there at the very end of it. Looked like it was going to be set in stone with Cameron Hearn winning, but Davey Hendricks with the last lap move coming out of turn 4, using the rules to his advantage, going below the yellow line, which is legal in Araya, and he used that to his advantage and won the race. So interesting finish to a caution-free race. I don't think we'll go caution-free tonight from Homestead because we currently have slated for us 140 laps It was 167, but after what happened in the truck series, the Northern Capital Truck Series, we had to reduce the lap times because of the tire sets that is given out to the drivers. So there were only three tire sets for the truck race, and at the very end, it came down to a green-white checker, where drivers had already used up all their tire sets and were using their spares or their slicks, if you will. And that kind of that led to a discussion to shorten the lap count.
Well, we were discussing with the race controller after the race, and we had mentioned to the administrators of the league that we had actually gone further than the NASCAR Gander Series had run at Homestead in their last run. So we went a full race, with 75% fuel. So you got to really, think about that. That they still had green flag pit stops. They had to worry about their tire sets. In most places, you don't talk about that much in the NASCAR system, but that's something I think really adds to it. That you got to decide, instead of just putting out as many tires as you see fit, because iRacing will let you unless you limit it.
Well, it was interesting. We talk about the trucks and how it ended that the Tuesday night. Garrett Grant kind of sat back, played along, and then he came on in the end. But we talked to him at the end of it, and we said, why the decision to stay out front? Because typically he fell back, and he said he figured at that point he wasn't going to have the benefit of the tires to fight his way back up. So he said he'd stayed up front and fought. It's interesting. Tires playing such a big role.
Yep, indeed, and we'll see them play a big role here tonight as the Cup Series will take on the high banks of Homestead, 1.5 miles with 18 to 20 degrees of banking on both the turns, 3 degrees down the straights. And Harold, you got some pretty good shots for us as they're going to come through turn 2 and then off the back stretches. We were testing out our camera work here early just to see what angles we have. Got some pretty neat ones to show you guys tonight.
Yeah, doing pretty good at finding us, better camera guys. Yesterday, I had to fire a guy. He went out and got a hot dog and showed us nothing but a green screen yesterday. So we need a new camera set.
Wow. I'm glad I ate before the race.
You can't be leaving the book. You're not allowed to do bathroom breaks, man, unless you're Jeff Gordon. Nobody's got Gordon's name around, right?
I guess for Tony Stewart too, he can't go to bathroom breaks. A new follower there from Za222. Big shout out to you. Thanks for following along with the other 200 or so followers that we have on here. Appreciate everyone tuning in, watching. We have just about 5.5 minutes left in our practice session before our 10-minute qualifying session, where drivers will get 2 laps, go around Homestead and put up the fastest lap.
Shout out to AJR Racing, too, by the way. Sorry, I had to get my buddy in there real quick. Harold, go ahead.
I was about to compliment. This league has done an extraordinary step of making sure that the rule book is very cut and dry. It's the admins and admin tower have been doing a great job of setting precedents of this very new league. And basically, like Hunter said, they took the yellow line rule out because they didn't want any arbitrary calls. Like we always saw in the NFL, that one guy sees it one way and another guy sees it another way, and and there's no replays that we use here. It's just whoever our admins in the admin booth are, and they make the calls. But admins and race control, the referees basically here have been doing pretty good, and they're not being tasked very heavily, which they love. Especially like last night, they didn't have anything really to watch except for just kind of monitoring that nobody was doing anything foolish. And but they've been doing a great job. So you had a shout out to them. Dawson Miller in the admin tower tonight.
Yeah, Dawson Miller in the admin tower for the Cup Series, doing a fine job. So far, so good. Although he is by himself, I think he'll get some help here in a little bit. Not too certain on that. He might be up there for the whole night by himself, but all the confidence in the world, Dawson Miller will make the right calls. And you mentioned it along the lines of the NFL, where one driver or one person seeks it another way. Bringing in the real life topic, Daytona, Talladega, in the past, there have been many controversial calls with, did he go below the yellow? Did he not go below the yellow? And, so Jake, when he made the rules for Araya, wanted to make it clear cut and dry, not too much, what do I do here? What do we do here? Da, da, da. Just simple, short, and sweet. That's basically how it came to be.
Well, and that's what it should be. I mean, at this point, why complicate things that are already complicated? I mean, it just adds to it. So, no, I think they've done a great job. I agree. I think that the clearer the rules are, the less we have any problems with. And I didn't get the shout out to the admins on my part as well up in the booth there.
All right, well, we have a little under now, 3 minutes left in practice. Go ahead and take a look at who's on the top of the charts here. And it's newcomer, the number 12, Eric Weinland. I did not see him last week at Daytona, so this would be his season opening debut here at Homestead, which is just a drive south from Daytona Beach, Florida. Closer, way closer to the Bahamas and the Florida Keys.
Which is probably lovely at this time of evening.
I would assume so as well. Right there, you're riding with the number 3. There's one of the shots I was talking about with Harold. Go down the backstretch. What a fantastic shot there.
That is beautiful. It really is. That's one of those camera views you just can't get enough.
Yep, and David Weisar, the 3, will have one of our in-car cams tonight, as he will be trying to get that number 3 car to the top. Saw him ride around in the back of the back at Daytona. Went caution free. There you see, there's the number 3 of Weishart. He's going down pit road, going to make some adjustments. Heard he was feeling under the weather yesterday, and all spirits are up for him. Looking good so far. He's currently 3rd on the practice charts. See if that's can carry into qualifying.
Real quick, Hunter, Weinland was there. A Real Racing says he got a top 5. I thought I remembered his name, but last week was Daytona, so for us to try to put all of that together. But
Eric Weinland was one of the guys that was trying to break. Was in that 2-car in the back that was trying to catch up at the end.
Yeah, with the 21 car. You know,
Yeah.
I was looking on my sheet, the previous sheet from Daytona. I did not see his name on there. As bad on my part. There is the 21. Yep. 20 there on pit road. Now we go to the 54. That's another teammate for Eric Weinland from VRA. The number 54 of Davey Hendricks, who's coming off a win at Daytona over teammate Cameron Hearn with that last lap move. So he's currently our points leader right now. We're heading into Homestead.
Got that beautiful 54 Skittle look going on, tasting the rainbow. One thing that I don't do anymore after Harold and I took a trip, but
And here's last week's surprise, Ryan Honeycutt. He's currently 6th on the practice chart right now, and he's also going to have one of our in-car cams tonight. He was a late race entry for the Araya 500. He barely made it to qualifying, got a good qualifying start, and then he got a top 5 finish on top of that. Finished 3rd at Daytona. So really, really great job from Honeycutt on getting in. The Hendersonville, North Carolina native. Currently 6th on our practice charts right now.
Yeah, driving one-handed and doing his phone as well. That's beautiful.
Wasn't there an ARCA driver that got in trouble for that?
Yes, that was.
Well, as we see, he just got in trouble for that too.
And he wasn't texting us. If you're gonna text, you gotta text us.
That's right. That's exactly right. If you're going to crash your car, turn it around the other way, it's got to be to us, okay?
And all right. Well, I will do it for qualifying practice. Sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Practice is over. Going to do qualifying. It's a 10-minute session. Starts now. We'll see who makes their name first on the leaderboard.
And Cushy, they've been asking for a cam for you, so we'll have to maybe see if we can fix that somehow.
I'll get it. I'll get one. Well, if they follow me on Twitter, now that I have the new Twitter thing at Cushy32, they'll be able to see plenty of me there.
All right, then. See
that? A personal shout-out. How about that?
Personal shout-out. Well, they're talking about personal shout-out. Lottie'sTravelWorld.com weather for tonight. America's Auto Auction 210. Partly cloudy skies. The air temp 79. Track temp 81. Relative humidity only 53%. And the winds are out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour, and you can see it is starting to sunset, and the lights are already on at the racetrack.
Yeah, sun is setting, cloud cover starting to take in. The moon's going to come up before the sun, and should provide us for some interesting racing here. We've seen it multi-groove racing throughout the previous 3 races in Araya. We've seen the bottom work, the middle, and the top. So really, you can go anywhere and make some moves.
Yeah, I this was what it looked like on Tuesday night when we ran, and it just got better as it went on. Once it gets completely dark and the lights shine, man, this is a beautiful track.
We already see some drivers starting to put up some lap times there.
Yep.
Davey Hendricks, last week's winner, currently first on the chart. There's Blair Patterson, the 91. He already completed his first lap. The Waukesha, Wisconsin native, going to bring that number 91 through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can improve on his lap time. Danny Ware improves on his second lap time, so put him to the top of the charts at a 32.614. Blair Patterson going to come across the stripe, see if he can get into the 32s. Not quite. 33.076. Going to currently put him on third for now.
Christian DeBoer out there with a 33.254, out to 32.865 in fourth. Dean Prince out there as well to 33.306, and of course one of my favorite things going around in that 99 in the M&M's Toyota.
Indeed, it's weird seeing a 99 slapped on it rather than the classic 18 that Kyle Busch runs. See if he has the same speed that Kyle Busch has. So Dean Prince going to come across the line, 32.958. So he puts it into the 32s. He's not the slowest, 32s. Every driver but Blair Patterson has put down a lap time less than 33 seconds. 7 minutes left. Oh,
yeah, I was going to say real quick, Hunter, I noticed there was a comment earlier today that we were wondering how it would translate from Daytona to Homestead, and top 10s were led by the guys that had a great race at home or at Daytona. So should see if it plays out the same way with the Big Cup tonight.
Up in the middle of that, Garrett Heath went to the top of the charts with a 32.581, currently 0.3 quicker than our second place driver. There's Delonte Ballard in the 21. He's currently third on our chart right now. 32.638. It looks like he might be done. Here's the 67 of Ryan Honeycutt, last week's third place finisher at Daytona. Let's give a ride on board, see how he takes turns 3 and 4. So you tucked on the bottom, then slowly moving to the top. Getting close to the wall. You do not want to do that. Smacks the wall, and that's going to race his lap time.
Yep, by the look on his face, he knows. Glad he gave us an in-car. That was perfect. I mean, that's just the world of what they're doing.
Here's another one of our in-car cams. It's the 52 of Tyler Hallman, the number 52 Chevrolet. And there you can make view of the 52 there on the back side of him.
You must make sure if I don't forget, he's got his number behind you.
yeah, that's Stuart Friesen's 52, the door number there in the background. Looks like he's going to bring it down the pit road. He's currently 10th on our charts right now with a 32.865. 10th among 14 drivers who have put down a lap time. There we are coming off turn 4. That's Travis McDaniel in the 25. See where he goes on our speed chart.
Another new entry, by the way.
Yeah, good looking car there. Cobra on the hood and on the.
And Matt Elverson basically got his last minute injuries for today.
Yep, 2 new entries from the previous week. One of them being Travis McDaniel right here. He's currently 14th on our chart right now. I believe he's coming around for his final lap. He's going to take the checker flag here. We're going to see what that number 25 does. If he improves on this lap time or not. He's going to move up to 4th with a 32.630. Making his voice felt in the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Still less than 4.5 minutes in our qualifying session. That's the 29 of Scott McClendon. Going out for his lap time.
Nice in-car view there. Back on the trunk lid. I like that. That's a great view right there. That's going to come in handy when somebody's driving on him later on. Nice inside view. Get his eyes on the road. Hands are nice and steady.
Being from Missouri, look what he's got on his helmet. The Gateway.
Oh, I just saw that. I saw Worldwide Technology on the back, on the deck lid. Did not see that on the helmet. There he is going down the back stretch.
You're not going to lose that car, that's for sure. It's colorful.
It's got all the bright colors you need.
Under that flag, see what he does here.
Going to come across the line. Looking at our chart, 16th quickest right now. There's still 5 drivers who have yet to put down a lap time, including David Weishart, Jacob Bell, Garrett Grant, Ed Robertson, and Eric Weinland. Eric Weinland was the fastest car in practice.
Garrett out on the track now. Mention his name, and there he is. He shows up.
And the Northern Capital number 5 from New Albany, Indiana. Puts down a 33.440, also 16th quickest. We've seen some drivers put up some slow lap times on their first lap around, and as soon as they got a feel for the car and what they can do, they seem to shoot straight up to the chart.
And this is one of those drivers where you expect he's at least going to start with a decent spot.
Yeah, we were on Scott McClendon earlier. He jumped up to 6 with a 32.671. Let's see what Garrett Grant does. Comes off turn 4. He's going to cross the start-finish line. See where that puts him. 5th.
Wow.
There you go. Top 5 for the number 5, Garrett Grant. And there's our very own Jacob Bell. He put up the 15th fastest lap so far in his first lap around. Taking the higher approach. We've seen a lot of drivers run the bottom, then tend to shoot up to the middle, all the way up to the top. Jake's taking the high approach. A Loxahatchee native. This is another hometown track for him. I would say this is more of a home track than Daytona, as he's closer to the Miami area. There he is coming off turn 4, down the front stretch. We'll see where that puts him. And the 77 car is going to be 11th. Jake just 1 spot shy of the top 10 as he puts up a 32.750. Here's the Altoona, Pennsylvania native in Eric Weiland. He was the fastest driver in practice. There you go, a little multitasking right there as he comes across the start-finish line. We'll see where that puts him. I believe that was his green flag lap. It was.
This is out lap, yeah.
Yep.
Look at that heavy concentration that eyes.
Oh, he's deep. He's locked. Yeah.
He ain't paying attention to nothing but the steering wheel.
And that's a good thing.
Don't be hard on that guy, though.
He's also taking the approach that Jacob Bell took, the previous car before him. As he comes across the start-finish line, we'll see where that puts him. Looks like that number 12 car is going to be, looking at our chart, 20th, which that's okay.
Well, it looks like they're really putting the heat into the tires by staying out high, which is pretty similar to what you do in a super speedway. Take that first lap up high and wind the RPMs up, and now he's going to race the track and dipping down into the corner and then washing up off the even corners. Whoop! Keep on.
Oh, we got loose. Yeah, he got loose there going through turn 4. He's going to come across the stripe now, and he's going to improve his lap time to 8th quickest. So not bad of a lap for Eric Weiland, the fastest driver in practice. Puts up a 32.667. Just as time is about to expire in qualifying, the only driver that did not put up a lap time was the 64 of Ed Robertson. So that's going to do it for Homestead for qualifying. Now on to the main event, 140 laps. The America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan 210. So you see on the left side of your screen will be the starting lineup, starting with Garrett Heath in the number 23, winning the pole, and to his outside, starting second, the 15 of Cameron Hearn.
Then you got starting third, the number 18, Danny Ware, and then fourth, the number 25 of Travis McDaniel.
Starting fifth will be the number 5 of Garrett Grant, and to his outside, starting sixth, the 21 of Delonte Ballard.
There we have down in 7th, David Weishart, and then sitting next to him in the 12th, Eric Weinland.
Right, row number 5, we'll have Scott McClendon starting 9th, and then on his outside starting 10th is Kyle Knapp.
Then rolling off in the 54 in 11th, Mr. Davey Hendricks, and Shaquille O'Ray in the 2 on the outside.
Row 7 is the 77 of Jacob Bell. And to his outside is the 4 of Matt Albertson.
Row 8, 56 of Christian DeBoer, and on his other side is 52 of Tyler Hallman.
17th will be Dean Prince in the 99, and 18th will be Blair Patterson.
And you got it in row 10, you got Ryan Honeycutt in the 67, Brian Wasserman in the 7.
And last but not least, in row 11, a row to his own, number 64, Ed Robertson, going to roll off 21st. So we've got 21 cars here tonight, 140 laps at Homestead. And we're waiting on the pace car to pull her off down pit road and get a lap in under the pace lap.
Good looking graphic.
Yeah, American Auto Auction of Western Michigan, and they're the presenting sponsor for tonight. Actually drove by them in Grand Rapids when I was up there earlier this year. Kind of neat to see one of our sponsors up close and personal.
Well, that's when you were eating hot dogs as well, if I recall. Many of your hot dogs.
No, I don't think so. That was in Illinois.
Yeah. Well, there were plenty of it, that's for sure.
We ate quite a bit, but Michigan was a little different.
They don't have hot dogs in Michigan?
Not good hot dogs.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Chicago, man. We're very particular.
Love the headlights on the pace car. That's fantastic. The way it shines out front. Cool.
Coverage of the Ariya SimSpeedShop Cup Series is brought to you by Miller Racing Graphics, your #1 source for iRacing graphics, logos, and more. Get 50% off your first paint scheme at facebook.com/MillerSimGraphics. All right, boys, any final thoughts before we let them go?
My only thought is, are we running a fuel race like they did last night, or are they're gonna try every groove they possibly can and wear those tires down to nothing?
Nope, 75% fuel, same as the last night, and they'll probably have to figure it out in this first set coming up to the green flag we go.
A good jump there from the 23. They roll off into turn 1. You'll see them running the top, middle, the bottom. There they are coming off turn 2 down the back stretch.
Great thing about Homestead is the width. They can run those wide. They can run 3 wide and not worry about it. Lots of different lines.
Looked like we had the 91 there scrape the wall. The leading lap 1 is Garrett Heath. Here comes the 15. Down to the bottom, that's Cameron Hearn.
Last night's winner and fuel mileage master.
And we finished second in the Ariya 500. He's looking to finish 1 spot better tonight.
I think some other people might have something to say about it tonight, but we'll see. He's a crafty driver, that's for sure.
There you see the field, mostly single file there towards the back, and that 23 Garrett Heath wanted to get away from the rest of the pack. He just put down the fastest lap on lap number 3.
They did it last night. I was going to say, Hunter, who's your pick for tonight? Who are you feeling tonight?
Honestly, I have zero clue as to who I'm going to pick. This is such an open race, and especially with what happened last week at Daytona, I don't think there's a clear favorite because it could go caution-free again, and it could turn into fuel mileage, so who knows?
Well, I think if it turns into fuel mileage, we have to look at the 15 car. He did a masterful job last night, but it comes down to just grinding and pulling and everything else. I don't know, that number 5, Garrett Grant, he may know how to pull that off.
We were just looking at the battle from about 7th through now 14th. They're all bunched up in this pack right here. You saw in the middle of that was Jacob Bell in the 77. He's trying to roll through the top and then pass through the middle in the corners.
That could be the reason why we have more caution.
Oh, we just had a pass for the lead. Cameron Hearn just took the lead from the 23 of Garrett Heath. Just looked up at that. They're racing all over the place in the back. We missed the action up front.
Yeah, there's just as much going on up front as there is in the back. Those guys are hard pressing right now, those 3 there.
Oh, and behind that is the battle for 3rd. That's going to be between the 25 of Travis McDaniel and the 21 of Delonte Ballard. So McDaniel up to the 3rd spot for the moment.
Caution.
Oh, we got a caution.
Down.
There we
Caution.
go.
I
already.
would assume it was that pack in the middle that might have caused the yellow. We'll have to take a look and see. Our one to go replay. And it was. I think that looks like the 52 of Tyler Hallman. He tried to just give a bad bump through the middle of the corner.
Our buddy Jacob Bell there in the midst as well.
See, coming off 2 down the back. Looks like a little bit of side draft in there. Getting near. Oh, when he gets close to the wall, doesn't. Oh,
There.
yep,
Oh.
just that little tap right there. He got in the wall. Oh,
Oh my! Hit the 2.
hit the 2 of Shaquille
for
Ray.
the ride. Yeah. Goodness gracious. How about that?
Just tight racing, and then just that contact between, just that small touch between Jacob Bell and Tyler Hallman.
Yep.
That'll set it off. And tough break for Shaquille O'Reilly. He was our first DNF from Daytona last week in the early running, and he gets caught up in this, nearly going upside down. As there you see him in the pits. These drivers have no fast repair, and it'll be interesting to see where Shaquille O'Reilly goes from here.
That's a pretty damaged front end right there on that car. However,
The
it's got a
poor
corgi
corgi.
all over it,
Yeah.
so you know.
Poor Corgi.
Yeah.
There you see the field going by. He's going to go 1 lap down. We have some takers here on pit road.
Wow. Cameron Hearn early.
Yeah,
A
a good
lot
bit of
of
the guys.
people on.
Yeah. How about that?
I believe
Yeah,
this be to fuel only.
Could be fuel only. Is there? See, that's 3 of the Northern Capital trucks on the pit road.
And certainly,
Hearn
Cameron
has
Hearn's
not
been in there
moved.
quite a bit. Not sure what's going on with the number 15.
He might be taking tires.
I have not seen that car jack
That's
up
not
at all.
lifted yet. Yeah.
No. Very interesting.
That would
Well,
be a
Cameron
quick,
Hearn.
that would be an interesting situation.
Yeah, he's in there with the guys that all had damage that are being repaired. That's Knapp and Bell. It's,
Might have been a little contact between the battle for the lead between him and 23 of Garrett Heath, but so far, caution free, not
There he
quite.
comes. Back
wonder
out.
if he was
That's
just
right.
trying to put himself back in the back of the pack.
He might have been taking some optional repairs because he probably knows how fast his car is and just wants to make sure that it's 100%, not go out there and have something go wrong aerodynamically.
And clearly, he's got the speed to get up there if he needs to. So, and there's plenty of laps left. We're only on lap 9, so he's got plenty of time to work his way back up.
Yep, lights are off on the pace car. We'll go green this time by, but don't you go anywhere just yet. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here at Homestead. For those of you that are subscribed to the Araya Twitch channel, I'd like to give a big shout out to you and a thank you for your subscription, as we are commercial free for you guys.
What better way to be than commercial?
Indeed.
Good look. Another good view coming down that back stretch. Twilight is among us right
Drivers are coming through turns 3 and 4 right now.
Looks
We
like
will be
Shaquille
seeing the
Ray
green
has
flag.
disconnected.
Yeah, a tough 2 weeks for Shaquille O'Reilly.
Yep.
2 early DNFs. But the green flag's out. We're back underway here on lap 10.
With Garrett Heath with no pressure from the 15 can just sail off if he wants to right now.
There you see they're running through the top there in 1 and 2. They're going down the backstretch.
Delonte Ballard up front early on. Good to see him in the 21 car up there running second.
Would like to point out the first of the drivers that pitted, David Weishart, currently running 12th right now, is here You see the onboard there of Eric Weinland in the 12s, currently running in the 4th spot right now. Get a little glimpse of his in-car setup. He's running the middle groove, not too close from the bottom. Coming off the back stretch right there.
Good view from inside that car.
He's got that
Anywhere
bright.
there in the 18, right behind him.
I was say he's got the bright bumper of Travis McDaniel right in front of him.
Yep.
Here you see a little further back. That's the battle for 5th. Or sorry, that's the battle for 6th. Between Scott McClendon, Ryan Honeycutt, and Davey Hendricks. Hendricks was your winner last week at Daytona. Got some company there up top. It's the 21 car. Oh, that's the 91. Sorry.
That's a
91.
I was going to say.
No, I was right. That was.
You were right.
21.
It shows the 21.
He's
but that's
actually our new guy. That's the number 4 of
okay.
Matt Alverson.
Matt Alverson, yes.
He's in the 21 paint scheme, and just for those that don't know, the drivers can use a service known as trading paints to bring in their custom paint schemes, and sometimes they leave them on. And he's one of the Elliott Sadler guys, is matter of fact, in that 21.
Oh,
so he's an
touched a little
esports for Elliott Sadler, the ESE racer, that number 21. You zoom in there, you see there he is, Elliott Sadler Esports.
very nice.
Matt Alverson.
It looked like the 29 got bumped. Maybe he didn't, but there just looked like there was a moment where he bumped or skipped. I'm not sure what went on there. In a, a glitch. But.
There you see them fanning out, some on the straights, and then most go in single file. Right behind the 54 is the battle for 9th. That is between Davey Hendricks and the 91 of Blair Patterson. Moving back up front, battle for 2nd starting to heat up. Travis McDaniel, the 25, closing in on the bumper of Delonte Ballard in that 21 car.
He sure is. He's trying different lines there to see what he can do to him. That's the new Cobra paint job we talked about earlier.
Starting to get a little bit of a run there. They go down the backstretch. He's going to make his move to the inside of the 21.
Looks like he has the momentum, for sure. Going to clear him coming out of there and coming off the turn pretty easily, as a matter of fact.
So move Travis McDaniel up to 2nd. Delonte Ballard back to 3rd. Oh,
I don't think Delonte's done.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
looking there.
he's thinking this might not be, this would be a good time to try this out a little bit. Again, you haven't touched your tires yet. You're only 16 laps in.
Yep, further towards the back, you saw a side-by-side between Scott McClendon and Ryan Honeycutt. That was for the 6th position. McDaniel has his eyes set on the leader. Here we go towards the back. Got some interesting battles here going on that seem to have singled up. And now you see the 3 of David Weishart going underneath the 54 of Davey Hendricks as they go into turn 1. Side-by-side there for the 9th position. You got some side-by-side battles in front of them and behind them.
Yep, pulling.
All the racing's in the back.
Grant. Yeah, pulling Garrett Grant along with him underneath there.
And there you see the Northern Capital teammates bump drafting as they go off into turn 3. Some really nice side-by-side action here.
It looks like David can stay down a little longer than Grant. That could just be because he's pulling off of him, but interesting to see how they drove down into that corner.
Further up front, you see the 18 of Danny Ware there. He's battling with the
4 of Alverson, yeah.
Yeah, that is
a
the 4 of
21
Alverson.
number.
Yep, and they're side-by-side in front of him also between Eric Weinland and Ryan Honeycutt. There's so many battles going on. And here comes Blair Patterson.
There's a
back
lot
trying to make it 3 wide. Yeah, there is a lot going on behind the top 3. They're 3 wide now coming off of turn 4.
Whoa, all the way down.
Yep, got to help out the teammate.
Yep.
Some really nice racing here.
Again, the great part, wide track. They can run 3 wide into the corners and not have to panic so much. If this was Daytona, I'm not so sure we haven't had 2 or 3 more cautions running like that.
It races like Daytona with the way they're running in these packs.
Yeah.
See, that's the 4 car scored on the pylon there to your left of Matt Alverson.
How about taking the nose off of the front end of that car?
And there you see in front of him is the 5, Garrett Grant, going underneath the 18 of Danny Ware. That is for the 7th spot. He's just following his teammate, Dave Weishart, going to the front. There you see Weishart again making a move, this time on Ryan Honeycutt for the 5th position. And right behind him is his teammate once again, Garrett Grant.
Yeah, they seem to be working really well, trying to get to that front, trying to get around the other cars. Grant seems to have to go up more often than Weishart does, but they're definitely working together, pushing one another. And this is where I think they're making it up on it, right here through the turns when they're both pushing like that. They gain an awful lot coming off of there.
As I speak of gaining an awful lot, the Balfour lead teeing up between the 25. Travis McDaniel, he's caught the bumper of Garrett Heath, our leader. He's starting to gain some traction there.
And those two are pulling away from Ballard slightly as well. You can still see him in there, but Delante's dropped off a little bit. Got a new follower, by the way, the Madigan kid. That Madigan kid, shout out to you for joining us tonight. So thanks for following us.
Yep, back to the battle for 4th between Eric Weinland and David Weishart. Still fighting with Ryan Honeycutt for that 5th spot. Now Weishart looking underneath the 12 of Weiland here for the 4th spot. He's going to get it. There's shuffling going on throughout the scoreboard and our cameras, but cut back to the action here with the battle for lead that's sort of slowed down between Garrett Heath and Travis McDaniel.
A little bit of a gap is picked up again. Here we go back to the side-by-side, because why not? That's where it's all happening right now.
In fact, there you see that's the 5th, no, that's the 3rd Northern Capital Track. There are only 3. That's a 52. It's a 52 car there, Tyler Hallman. Trying to get in line there, right behind the 18 of Danny Ware. Ware running in the 10th spot, and Hallman running in the 11th.
And notice who's in front of that group, the number 15 car coming from behind, as we thought he would. Not flying, but there's no need for it again, but he's making up ground from that long pit stop.
Yeah, he's in a hornet's nest right now. There's just all types of racing going on in that little pack they got. Well, I shouldn't say little. It's the majority of the field that's behind the top 3. Oh, and here comes Honeycutt there.
For a while. Yeah, they seem to snake for a while. But
that's for the 6th spot. So Eric Weiland going backwards, falling to the 7th spot. He's got Scott McClendon right there on his bump for the red and green number 29 machine.
Gotta be careful. Cameron will be there soon too.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn was on pit road for quite a while. I'm pretty sure he was just taking the optional repairs, making sure the car was 100%. As now, down for the lead, heating up once more. McDaniel gonna take a line a little bit higher than the bottom.
He seems to be changing his line just to test out what's been working. You watch him go into the turns. He's been going in a different lane.
Hope you saw in the back there, the 2 Northern Capital machines that have been working their way through the pack. They've moved up to 3rd and 4th. Delonte Ballard's dropped 2 spots. They are going to work together to get up to the front. There you see, they are gapping that pack now. That's side by side. Now there's Honeycutt on the bottom of Ballard. That's for the 5th spot. But these
Honeycutt
two, the 3 and the 5, moving on as much as the 5 and the 3.
Yeah.
Honeycutt's doing this all on his own.
He absolutely has. He has not had help. He's been driving the wheels off that. Scott McClendon, shout out to him too. He's been kind of pushing as well. But again, here comes the 15. Slowly but surely, he'll be up there. Good inside shot here. Brian Honeycutt.
Yep, did not have a good qualifying run, but he's worked his way up to the top 5. These guys that I set on the 2 in front of him that have continued to work with each other, getting closer towards the front. They're putting lap times that are about a 10th or 2 quicker than the front 2. So he just got past there.
Going around him right there.
McClendon just got in front of the 67. And look who's right behind him, the 15 of Cameron Hearn.
Surprise!
He was battling for the lead when our first yellow came out, pitted, took some optional repairs. And here's a view of the number 3 of David Weishart. He and his teammate Garrett Grant have worked their way all the way up inside the top 5. They got their eyes set on the leader, and they're running lap times that are slowly but surely quicker than the front 2.
Yeah, and that was a good view of that, how much closer they've gotten to where they can really see the back end of that Travis McDaniel car a lot better. Last lap by, they were David Weishart 34.405 versus 34.498 up front with Garrett Heath. So you're right, chopping away at it, not by a lot, but every 10th counts at this point.
Indeed, they were at 1.2 seconds back when they got in front of everyone in that gaggle of cars. They're still 3 wide here. Weinland on the top, trying to hold his ground, but Hearn on the bottom. Oh, that wasn't Hearn. Hearn is further up. That is the 18 of Danny Ware. They have very similar paint schemes.
They do indeed. Then you got Davey Hendricks underneath him now coming in to the turn as well. He's cleared him also. Drop Eric Weinland back to the 9th spot.
Because now Weishart is just over a second behind the 25 of McDaniel. And it looked like McDaniel was making a move for the lead, and it went down just a tad. They're still side by side here.
Battle here, yeah. 54 car underneath. Trying to take another spot away. Up front, you got it tight. Travis McDaniel seems to get to the bumper, but he can't seem to do anything with Garrett once he's there.
Yeah, can't really run the top here because he's just on his own, and he has no help really. There you see behind now that everyone's starting to single file out. They're starting to catch the 3rd and 4th place car.
Should be seeing pit stops within 8 to 10 laps here, correct?
Would assume so. Although we did have that first yellow, so they were able to save some fuel under the yellow, but only time will tell when we see our first takers coming up here. Oh, and I should point out too that David Weishart and Garrett Grant pitted, so them making work through the pack and catching the front 2 could be the reason why they are catching as fast as they are, because they're the front 2 that have pitted.
Yeah, they're eight lap difference on the stint. 33 laps on the first 2 cars, and they're at 25 laps. So didn't take tires, took fuel, but they can run a lot longer, and that could play out in the end.
Yeah, but they have now caught the front 2 with ease.
How about that?
The next driver that's pitted is the 15 of Cameron Hearn, and he's currently 6th right now, but things are about to get interesting up here, so we're right on board with David Weishart.
You think about how far back they were when we were first talking about them. They had to go through side-by-side battling, and now they're right up front trying to get a hold of his. And you can see the back bumper clearly now on 25.
They're trying to make his move there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Couldn't quite do it. Oh, tapped the wall there in front of him. The 25 that McDaniel did. Now it looks like the 3 is going to try get a run up top and slowly go to the bottom or keep it up top. No, he's not there yet.
Wow. Thought he had him. He pulled up on that back fender there.
It looks like the 5 was a step ahead of the 3. He's looking underneath him. He's going to back off just a tad and wait to see where the 3 goes.
Again, interesting lines, though. What seems to be working for one is not working for the other. And, they were working well in the corners, but now you see them running 2 different lines in the corner.
Coming right behind those 2 are Scott McClendon and Cameron Hearn. They've both caught the fastest 2 cars on the track that have caught the front 2. And now you see a battle for the lead. Here comes McDaniel on the bottom. And now you got more battles going on in the back. That's McClendon underneath the 3 of Weishart.
He wants some real estate.
Well, back up front for the lead. Give it to Travis McDaniel in the 25. And now the former leader, Garrett Heath, sorry.
Garrett Heath.
He's getting passed by Garrett Grant. There you go.
There you go. You had it. There's Garrett's. Garrett's everywhere. It's perfectly fine.
Yep. Weishart having a little more trouble working his way through the pack. He's got driver down to his bottom with McClendon and Cameron Hearn both bump drafting their way past the 3. So move the 3 back down to the top 5 spot for now. Could be 6th. And the 5 of Garrett Grant closing in on their new leader, Travis McDaniel.
I just want to point out that I might have said the 5 was going to be my favorite. I might have called that early on, just saying. Not assuming that lasts the whole night, because as we saw last night, once that 15 gets out front and plays pedal cars, he can go a long way. So
You saw there they were going down the backstretch. The 42 of Kyle Knapp has pitted. He's currently 6 laps down on the track right now. Actually, no, he's 8.
He's
sorry.
8 laps now, yeah. Yep.
So we have a couple of takers.
1 lap cars.
Yeah, Delonte Ballard and Blair Patterson have just made their pit stops. We're nearing 40 laps on this stint here for the drivers that stayed out. Now for the lead, though, the 5 of Grant down on the bottom of McDaniel with the 25. Give the lead to Garrett Grant.
No problem at all. Just wore him down. He did the same thing Tuesday night. He just wore him down, and eventually he's there, and suddenly you turn around and Garrett Grant's out in the lead. So nice job by him and his teammate, David Weishart, both of them coming from way back and just working together to get to where they are right now.
Evan Weishart's got the 15 of Cameron Hearn behind him. They're side by side for third there between Garrett Heath.
Couple surprises farther back, seeing Danny Ware in the back, Jacob Bell and Eric Weinland. Thought that at least Weinland and Ware would be pushing up front right now. Here you see Jacob Bell behind him, behind Eric Weinland.
Yep, now the Heath machine falling towards 6th. Going to give the spot to McClendon there, but back here, this is the battle between Jacob Bell and Eric Weiland. This is for the 9th spot. Still got some 3-wide action here as they go into turn 3. That's the 21 of Ballard, the lap car.
Fresh tires. Yep.
You can see the difference on his tires than the 12 of Weinland. Weinland on 40 laps and Ballard just a mere 3 laps on his tires. So you'll see his lap time and his car go quicker than the rest of the field.
By a second.
Oh, we just got a pass for third. Cameron Hearn has passed the 3 of David Weishart.
Color me surprised on that.
Yeah. The 3 cars seemed to have gone away as soon as he got up with the front 2 and then just got passed by everyone else that caught him.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he didn't work his tires too much. And again, he had to change his line several times, so he had to run up high a few times, and I'm not sure if his tires just didn't cause him to do that.
Oh, we got rated here. Champagne Ray, or Campaign Ray, my apologies. Bring out the champagne. Party at 67. Thank you, Mr. Ray, for doing that. For those tuning in, this is the SimSpeedShop Cup Series live at Homestead. Currently 42 laps of under 40 complete here. The leader right now is the 5 of Garrett Grant. Had 1 yellow early on lap number 8. Had some drivers come down pit road. Made some green flag pit stops, but should be nearing for the leaders to make some pit stops here soon as they're over 40 laps on their current run.
I was about to say the middle of the pack here from about 5th down to 9th, you're going to see them coming off soon. They're at 41 laps on these tires. So the 42 laps on these tires. So the stint, they're going to need to be coming down soon. You're exactly right.
Also a shout out to Wall Magnet BP for the follow. Didn't want to leave you out on the fun.
No doubt. It's great to see more people jumping in. Hey, you got something to say? Shout out to us. You got Yeet. What is it? Yeet 43?
You got it right. Yeaton 43.
Yeah, all right. Good to see you guys jumping in and following along.
There you
Still
see there.
a great battle. Yeah.
Yep, this is the battle for the 3rd spot as they're slowly closing in on the 2nd place driver of Travis McDaniel.
There you
Right
see Delonte Ballard's about to get his lap back and catch up to Grant.
Yeah, Delonte Ballard's one of the few drivers who have made their pit stops under green, and he's running lap times that are well faster than the rest of the pack who have yet to make their pit stops. To point out, we did have 1 yellow on lap 8, and we did have some takers, and the highest of those takers is our leader, Garrett Grant, followed by Cameron Hearn and David Weishart. 1st, 3rd, and 5th have fresher tires than second
Bell
place
and Ed Robertson also running on that team. Christian DeBoer, those guys back there in 12th, 11th, 12th, and 13th also on that 37th lap stint. So a couple cars can go a little bit farther.
Riding on board with that 15 of Cameron Hearn. He was our leader before the pit stop, and then he took a bit of a longer pit stop than normal. Made some optional repairs to make sure his car was 100%, and right now it's running like it's 100% here. So he's closing in oh so close to that bumper of McDaniel.
He really loves that bottom line too. He was running that line before, and I think he ran it a lot last night, but he loves being down low on those turns.
Yep, and this is the view for McDaniel right behind. He's getting closer and closer. There you see on the outside, that's the 42 of Kyle Knapp. Going to be interesting here how Knapp navigates through this. He's one of the drivers that made their pit stop. Yep.
At least one of the laps.
Yeah, he's currently 8 laps down right now.
Yep. Good of him to stay high, though. Gotta appreciate that.
As in the middle of all this, our current leader, Garrett Grant, has moved 2 seconds in front of our second place driver. Oh, almost 2 seconds. It's just above 1.7 now and climbing.
He's walking the dog.
Zach 2622, thank you for the follow. Yeah, now 2 seconds between Garrett Grant and now new second place car Cameron Hearn. Yeah, driver down pit road. That is Travis McDaniel in the 25.
These are your scheduled pit stops. These guys have been out there for a while. Again, you won't see the leader come in at least for another probably 3 or 4 laps. But most of the other guys are coming in, running long laps.
Yeah, and amongst the drivers that did stay out, we are nearing 50 laps on their fuel run. So under that yellow, they were able to save some fuel. How much fuel, it depends on how strict they were on conserving that fuel.
Hey, JR, I don't think it's time for Sasquatch, man. We've had some pretty hairy driving already, that's for sure. When we were watching those guys battle back in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Hey, even the guys, Garrett Grant coming out from nowhere along with his teammate, they had some hairy moments themselves. But 52 or 54 coming off the track right now.
That's Davey Hendricks. He was currently running 4th on the racetrack. He's going to make his pit stop now. He was one of the drivers that went on that caution-free, well, not caution-free, worded that wrong. He was one of the drivers that did not pit when the yellow came out. So we are at the 50-lap mark here. There you see, there's the 12 car of Eric Weinland, the Altoona, Pennsylvania native, currently running 4th right now.
I'm surprised he has not come in yet, along with Danny Ware. Here he comes.
Say that, and Ware.
There you go.
Both drivers making their pit stops. Gotta get it slowed down. Don't want to hit the barrels.
I'm psychotic. I mean psychic. I'm sorry.
There you see those guys going to come down pit road.
Good to get an idea, though, Hunter. Based on the laps and the caution, I mean, 50 is a good stretch even with the caution. So at least it gives us a better idea of if a yellow flag were to come out, these guys can go quite a way.
I'd say a good bit of drivers that have come down pit road so far have been the ones that went the longest on their fuel run. So everyone else on the track right now, nearing 43, 44 laps on their current run, including our leader Garrett Grant, who's led 14 laps so far of our 52.
Looking good out there.
We can see that. I was going to say, we can see the strategy as it was coming into play like we did yesterday. The 2-stop tires and 3-stop tires coming into play. It looks like these guys are going to try to keep a set of tires in the pits as long as they can by trying to go with this 50 here and then maybe 90, 95, and then finishing.
Well, the one tie-in that you're mentioning, Harold, there you see the 25 flying around on new tires. But the interesting thing is last night, the same thing happened, and you see a lot of one-lap down drivers right now. Sometimes this can play out. You get the right strategy going and put a few people down pretty quick.
Yep, speaking of the right strategy, those 2 drivers that pitted early, the Delonte Ballard, number 21, and Blair Patterson, number 91, they're currently on the lead lap right now, and once all things cycle through, if we do not have a yellow, they will be our new top 2, as Ballard is on lap 17 on his run and lap 16 for Blair Patterson.
McDaniel right behind him, only running 5 laps.
Yep, and that's going to be a difference too. 11, 12 laps between those guys.
Green flag runs like this can really shake something up.
Yep, as you see Cameron Hearn going down pit road now. Going to make his pit stop.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Last night, someone ran out of gas, ran it too far, ran out of gas, and could not get off, could not back into his pit because he literally ran out of gas.
That would be putting yourself in quite a pickle here. I don't think anyone stretched it out that far to where they ran out of fuel. There was a little slide there.
There was our pole sitter last night. Actually, did run through his pit box and had to tow back to his pit stall last night.
Unfortunate for him.
Put on 4 fresh tires there.
There's our leader, Garrett Grant, coming down pit road. That's going to put his teammate David Weishart into the lead. Weishart led the charge for Garrett Grant coming up to the front, and then they caught the front two, and I don't know, Weishart seemed to stalled out, and then had 2 more drivers from that pack catch him, pass him. It was just kind of running around, I guess, and then 5 just made his move and kept it in front.
Well, Jacob Bell came down, got 4 fresh tires as well. Tyler Hallman was in, but 5.4 seconds down as well. I think Hallman's on a different schedule altogether right now.
And the battle you're seeing right now between Danny Ware of Eric Weinland, that's, well, it was the battle for the lucky dog position. Just had the leaderboard change, so that battle for the lucky dog is no more. Dean Prince now currently the lucky dog holder if a yellow were to come out.
64 of Ed Robertson stretching it good. Painful degree right there.
Yep, just saw the 3 of David Weishart come on the pit road. He is the last one, well, other than Tyler Hallman, the last one to pit amongst those that have, I wouldn't say stayed out. No, amongst the drivers that pitted on that lap 8 yellow.
Yep. Now, Ed Robertson's driving at 4. He's coming up on 50 right now. So, he's definitely putting it out there.
There you see that is the orange and black number 64 there. Right behind him is the 7 car of Brian Wasserman. You can see, even though he's a lap car, those fresher tires are important. He's going around, passing them on the outside. We could see the 64 come down pit road at any moment. That's 18 of Ware, passing the 12 of Eric Weinland.
29 car there we're showing coming around as well. Scott McClendon, he's up in front of those guys.
Yep, and Robertson has come down pit road. So this will hand the lead to the 21 of Delonte Ballard, who made his pit stop 22, now 23 laps to go. Right
By the way,
him,
McDaniels is coming in a hurry, and he can catch him well before that tire issue becomes a thing.
Yep, Travis McDaniel pitted 12 laps ago compared to the 24 laps ago from Delonte Ballard. So that is going to play a huge dividend into how he catches 21. As you see, he's closing him down like it's nothing.
Almost a second difference in the times they're running.
You know, it is a second difference. Not almost, it is.
Well, my thing doesn't catch up quite as fast as everybody else's timing schedule. Yeah, no, you're right. It is a second.
No, I have to refresh mine every now and then, but yeah, a second lap difference between the 21 and the 25. As you see the McDaniel machine coming to the bottom here, going into 3 and 4, almost contact. You see him passing on the bottom. He's going to clear him up top. New leader, the 25 of Travis McDaniel.
And again, walking the dog. I mean, he was coming. He was coming no matter what. There was a huge difference between, and he was riding really well when everybody was out there. I mean, McDaniel was in the top. He's been in the top 5 pretty much most of the time. So,
yep,
not unexpected.
Travis McDaniel, one of 2 drivers making their Ariya SimSpeedShop Cup Series debut tonight, along with the number 4 of Matt Alverson, who's currently scored. He's in a different car number. He's currently, no, he is
16th.
16th, there he is. He's got a different car number on his actual car, but on the leaderboard he's showing up as the number 4.
I wouldn't say we've had any surprises so far, would you? I mean, there's other than, well, Travis McDaniel's a new he's one of the new drivers, and he's out in the front. So I guess that's not true. I guess we do have some surprises tonight. Oh.
Yep, we've definitely had more surprises tonight than the previous race at Daytona. Shocking.
That's true.
Coverage of the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series is brought to you by Northern Capital. We would like to thank Russ and Steve Anderson and Northern Capital for their support of the Northern Capital Truck Series and from all of us here at Araya. You can see the Northern Capital Truck Series Tuesday nights here on the Araya iRacing Twitch channel.
And we have not had a boring race on Tuesday night. Not yet. I mean, I know we've had two, but I tell you what, watching 30-some trucks and 40-some trucks out there, it's a blast.
Yeah, I was able to catch a glimpse of that truck race. There's so much close, tight racing throughout the packs. Really, really fun stuff to watch. Kind of the opposite here. We had some close racing from about, let's say, 6th place through 17th early on. Then it's kind of evened out. We've had a cycle of green flag pit stops here. You see that's the number 67 of Ryan Honeycutt. He's currently in the 6th position right now. Just in front of him, the 29 of Scott McClendon in the 5th spot.
Yeah, we certainly see it stretched out now a whole lot more based on pit strategies. That first yellow flag we had on lap 8, I believe it was, where those guys dipped down, took gas, made a big difference and stretched a lot of things out.
And there you see on the bottom, that is the 52 of Tyler Hallman. Currently
Not
2
had
laps
the
down
night.
on the racetrack. No, he has not had the night so far. He's currently around the bottom, just staying out of the leader's way, because, you know, they've got faster cars, and obviously you don't want to factor into how their night will end.
No doubt. Tyler, one of the typical guys that you talk about pretty much any race that we've done so far, but just, again, not having the night as his teammates are having, that's for sure.
Well, now Hallman was caught up in that lap, not lap 1, the first yellow on lap number 8. There you see, that is the in-car of Ryan Honeycutt. He's one of, I'd say, 3. I believe we only have 3 in-car cams and their setups. There you see him working the steering wheel, going down the back stretch. Ryan Honeycutt was a late addition into the Daytona, well, not, yeah, the Daytona race, almost at Daytona 500. It was the Araya 500 at Daytona.
Yep.
A late addition, got a good qualifying lap in, and then he got a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, it drove beautiful through that race, I remember.
And he didn't have a good qualifying lap tonight, just before. He had to start closer towards the rear of the field. But he's made easy work. Oh, contact there between the 5 and the 54.
Doesn't look like Garrett Grant's going to wait much longer. He's trying to push forward again. And again, now he's one of those guys that can do that. That's his typical MO so far that I've seen. He'll get himself called back, but boy, he is hauling right now.
Oh, well, Garrett Grant's got 6 to 7 laps fresher tires than the 54 of Hendricks and the 67 of Honeycutt. He's going to go right below him. But man, talk about threading the needle. He wanted to make his move then and there. So move the 5 up on the racetrack. He's 6th on the chart right now. And he's currently chasing down 29 of Scott McClendon for that 5th spot.
If you look at his teammate, the number 3, David Weishart, running in 9th. He's running laps similar, if not just the same as Garrett Grant as well. So those two guys, again, if they catch up to each other, whoever's in front might want to keep their eyes on the back mirror, because they'll be in there in a hurry.
Oh no, David Weishart's running laps literally 1 second faster than our current leader, Travis McDaniel. McDaniel pitted 21 laps ago, and Weishart pitted 11 laps ago. So 10 lap difference there on the tires. That's a second a lap there that Weishart can make up and catch the leader in 10 laps.
Yeah, there's a couple guys running in the 33s. I saw Jacob Bell's running in the 33s, David Weishart, Garrett Grant, Mr. Robertson down there in the 64 because he ran it longer than anybody else. So he's only got 9 laps on his car.
Yep. And in the middle of that, we saw Garrett Grant move up to the 5th spot, passing Scott McClendon. So move Garrett Grant up. So he's running lap times that are about half a second faster than our current leader, Travis McDaniel. But you know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and do a halfway rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. Fans, be sure to visit our sponsor, Swift Lifestyles, for complete supplements to help improve your focus and gaming. Use a code, got my tongue tied. Use discount code AREA iRacing, AREA iRacing for 15% off your entire order. I'd like to give a big shout out and a thank you to Swift Lifestyles for their support of the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series. You can catch Monday nights on the Araya Twitch channel. So your leader, Travis McDaniel, currently had a top 5 car, had a different take on pitting as they had a session of green flag pit stops. He's currently 23 laps in on his set, and he's currently led 13 laps so far, but he's had a pretty fast car all night.
Absolutely. Cameron Hearn, a 15 there out of the Valley, South Carolina, running a few laps less on his tires, 14th second place in the 15 car.
Right behind him, the fastest car on the racetrack, Garrett Grant, as he's led 17 laps so far. He led just before the cycle of green flag pit stops, was one of the last cars to make their pit stop, and he's currently running half a second lap time faster than the leader.
Running in fourth, we have the second Garrett Heath out of Waterbury, Vermont, the 23 car. He's having a great run right now, 34.6 out there in the fourth position.
He's currently led in the most laps so far out of any other driver tonight. Scott McClendon in the 5th spot. He was kind of in that pack where they were shuffling around. He's currently shuffled himself into the top 5 for the moment.
There's David Weishart, teammate of Garrett Grant, and he's had 1 lap led tonight, but he's in the 3 car, running a good run and having some good lap times as well.
Right behind him is the 7th place driver, Ryan Honeycutt. Honeycutt did not have a good qualifying lap in, but he's currently driven himself through the top 5, currently settled in the 7th spot right now.
Follow behind him, you have Davey Hendricks in that 54 Skittles car. Has not led any laps, but he's had quite a race tonight as well. And there was a couple times where he was 3 wide in a few moments.
And then in the 9th spot is our very own Jacob Bell. Jacob Bell was also in the middle of that pack. Had a little bit of contact with Tyler Holman that brought out the first yellow. Nothing too major since then for Jacob Bell. Currently had a quiet night, running in the 9th spot. AJRR Racing. This is Danny Ware. This is his favorite driver. He's probably lubed up already. Danny Ware in 10th place in the 18, running some decent times as well. And moving on to 11th, that is Eric Weinland, the Altoona, Pennsylvania native. Was running close to the top 5 at one point, then got shuffled out towards the back. Been quiet since then. Currently running in the 11th spot.
12th, we have the 56 car of Christian DeBoer. Not talked about him a lot, but that's usually a good thing sometimes in the Miller Racing graphics there. So shout out to him in 12th place.
And lucky number 13 was our last driver to make a pit stop. Ed Robertson currently led 3 laps from staying out. He is currently 13th on the spot, and he's had a quiet night so far.
You got the new guy, Matt Alverson. He's got the 21 on there, but he's racing in the 4 car as far as we're concerned. He's had a good night so far, up and down, but good to see him out racing.
The last car in the lead lap is the number 15, well, in the 15th spot, the number 99 of Dean Prince. Nothing too much to say. Had a solid qualifying lap, but has just kind of been running around the middle of the pack. And that was your halfway rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. Up front, Cameron Hearn. We had a switch in second. Cameron Hearn passed Garrett Grant. Yep. And he's currently closing in on our leader, Travis McDaniel.
He has rented the fishing boat, and he's got the pole in the water ready to reel him in. Man, where did he come from?
Yeah, well, he was making his way through the field in the middle of our rundown. And, I mean, rightfully so. He's running lap times 3/10 quicker than the leader right now.
Yeah, but he must have been running. I mean, he must have been running the wheels off that thing. And you know, there's 7 laps difference, too, so that has a lot to do with it.
Yep, you see the 15 taking the middle approach here as he's got the run through the corner. Oh, the leader's going to make a pit stop here. Yep. Travis McDaniel, he's only 30 laps in on his pit stop. I guess he figured as soon as he got caught, that's when he'd make his next pit stop.
How about that?
We've seen drivers go as many as 50 laps on a single fuel run. We're not even close to that window yet. Still have another 10 laps or so before we reach that window.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. Makes you wonder if he's not having some kind of trouble, but that I mean, it just doesn't fathom as far as math goes. But guess who's out in front? You know, Cameron Hearn. or not Cameron Hearn, depending on who you talk to.
Well, Cameron Hearn and Garrett Heath were battling early in the race, and then a lap 8 yellow came out. The 15 car decided to make a pit stop, and he was the last amongst those that pitted. There were about 8 or 10 guys that came in and pitted. He was the last of those to come out. I would assume that he took some optional repairs in order to make sure his car was 100%, and currently it's 100% right now, running up front.
And pulling away from Grant at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Not to mention he had to restart in the back, work his way through that gaggle of cars in the middle, basically following the 3 of Weissart and the 5 of Grant as they were navigating their way also through the pack. And it's kind of led to where he's at right now.
now, everyone's going to wonder, where's the 21 car coming from? He took tires just recently. He's on his 10th lap on those tires, so nothing to... He's just trying to get himself back on the lead lap. He'll cycle around like everything else, and then he'll be out, in the lead again. But Delonte Ballard, good to see him running a good race. Hadn't gotten torn up too much.
Yep, and right behind the Hearn machine is the 5 of Garrett Grant. There you see him. He's running lap times that are about 2 to 3 tenths quicker than our current leader right now.
By the way, his teammate's not far behind. What a surprise as well. David Weissart. There he is, coming around the corner.
Now, from first through third, our cycle of pit stops, 27, 26, and 25 laps for these guys.
And what we saw from earlier from Ed Robertson was, and you can stretch it to 50 if you do it right. So these guys could go a little bit longer. They've got quite a ways to go if they stretch a long run.
They can definitely go a little bit longer. There you see the 3 of Weissart running in the 3rd spot right now. He's running lap times that are a tenth off from our current leader, Cameron Hearn.
There you saw a quick shot of Scott McClendon as well. He's running a few tenths slower as well. Is that Jacob Bell underneath there, or Brian Honeycutt? Yep, going around him. Down below.
When we were riding with Jacob Bell, he's currently in the 9th spot. Now he's looking on 7th, going to pass the 67 of Honeycutt. Guys, I said on last week's winner, Davey Hendricks.
Watching those 2 run, they're running fairly similar times. Jacob a little bit slower than Davey, but he's right there where he needs to be.
So far, the driver that's gone the furthest so far on our fuel run. 4th and 5th place drivers, Scott McClendon and Garrett Heath. They have gone 35 laps since they last pitted.
Mr. Honeycutt will be joining them at that 35 lap. When you look at the board, you look at our board, you've got all kinds of different numbers running right now, don't you?
Indeed. So right now, Cameron Hearn currently has a 1.6 second lead on 2nd place driver Garrett Grant.
One of the big things to bring up with Cameron Hearn, yesterday he was having a problem with his hand not being able to turn on his fuel indicator, so his lap for fuel, so he was actually having somebody talking to him in text telling him if he was saving enough fuel based on his gallons remaining. Very interesting how he was able to do that yesterday.
All right, we've got 86 complete from 140 here at Homestead for the America's Auto Auction Western Michigan 210. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but you won't miss a thing. We'll be right back.
86 of 140. Cameron Hearn still walking the dog at 2nd and a half, almost.
We'd like to give a big shout out and a thank you to those who have subscribed to the Uriah Twitch channel. You are currently watching caution-free coverage of the Uriah SimSpeedShop Cup Series.
I should have let you say that first. My apologies.
No, you're good. And we're riding on board 3rd place driver David Weissart.
He's just on the stroll like a Sunday morning going to church. Ain't nobody in the front or the back of him.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
He's like, la-di-da, there we go.
And we'd like to welcome those back from our quick commercial break here. We're on lap 80 now of our, close to lap 80 on our green flag run. We had a early race yellow on lap number 8, but since then we've not had a single caution since.
Been pretty smooth sailing for everybody. Nothing exciting's happening. You know, what we had at the beginning where we had side-by-side racing, things like that, it's pretty much cycled out the pits and what's happening in the fuel run.
Yep, we are nearing the open window to drivers that can make it all the way on a fuel run, because we've seen earlier on, before the first cycle green flag pit stops, drivers pitting, going 50 laps on a run of fuel. So we're nearing lap number 90. So anywhere from inside nap 90, lap 90 to now, we'll be good to go the rest of the way on fuel.
And everybody should have all the sets of tires they need in case something happens, because that first time around they only took fuel and then ran it on the same set of tires throughout that whole beginning run. So no one should have tire issues at this point, other than maybe the lap down cars.
Yep, right now we have a battle for the 5th spot. Going to be the 54, the 23, and the 77. Davey Hendricks moving up to 5th. Garrett Heath, excuse me, falling back to 6th. And Jacob Bell, the 77 car, was running in 7th. He's looking for 6th right now as they go side by side down the backstretch. In the turn number 3 they go. 77 of Bell is going to take the spot away from Heath. Going to fall back to 7th.
And he's running on the same cycle as the leader. So with Jacob moving up the way he is, I mean, he could be, I don't want to jinx it because I know what happened down the truck race, but, you know, are we going to be talking about him at the end? A podium run, maybe even.
You might want to knock on wood if you don't want to jinx him.
I got a desk. I'm knocking all over my wood desk right now. But shout out to him.
Currently the leader still Cameron Hearn, followed by Garrett Grant, David Weishart, Scott McClendon, and Davey Hendricks, your top 5.
Darn it, FYI. I should have left my charger on my tablet. But I'm down a tablet, folks, so those of you that are talking on Twitch, give me a moment. I got to switch off to another screen and bring my Twitch up on there. Operate. Not that anybody's worried about it, Hunter, but you know, you got to...
Technology.
Right.
I
thought it was going to make it. I thought it was going to make it.
So he's just like that guy thought he made enough fuel last night.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly right. Only I didn't get stuck in the pits. I've got it back up. Twitch is up and running. I can keep it off.
Well, Garrett Grant currently catching the leader of Cameron Hearn oh so slowly. 2/10 quicker that last time by was the 5 of Grant. See, as these guys are rolling through turns 3 and 4, how much the gap is closed.
Nobody else really running other than the guys that have been pitted recently, you know, Travis McDaniel. Nobody else really running. The first 3 guys are running pretty much the same lap.
Oh, we just got a car going down Pier Road, the 29 of Scott McClendon. Yep. He's pitting now, where we are within the window of everyone can make it on a tank of fuel.
You would assume Garrett Heath, Ryan Honeycutt, those guys will be coming down quickly as well.
Yep, along with the 12.
Yeah,
The 12 of Eric Weinland. Yep, just making his pit stop. Some tires going on. There you see that's the 3 of Weishart, and there the 54 of Hendricks.
Davey Hendricks running on 45. Like I said, Jacob Bell right behind him. There's a 5-lap difference between him and Davey Hendricks. So.
Currently looking at the McDaniel machine, who was made his pit stop around 16 laps ago. He's going to have to come back down pit road before this race is over with, unless we get a yellow in between now, and I'd say, what did he pit? 16 to go, so about 30 laps from now, around laps 120 to 126. Should be seeing the McDaniel machine coming down pit road. You see Garrett Heath and Ryan Honeycutt making their pit stops now. He's going on the pit road.
The good news is about for Daniel, I mean, you got to admit, he's driven really well tonight. Been in the lead before. Just pit sequence caught him, and it's going to catch him in a bad way soon. Here's 54 slowing down. It looks like kept diving off.
The 54 car of Davey Hendricks going to make his pit stop.
That moves
Jacksonville,
Jacob Bell
Florida.
up fourth, right?
Yep, Jacob Bell up to, well, actually third. Weissart pitted also.
Oh, okay. That you go.
David
Let me do
Weissart.
it from Loxahatchee.
There you go. Loxahatchee, Florida. So this is essentially a hometown race for Jacob Bell. It is closer to him than Daytona, which last week I also said was a hometown race, sort of, but it's a home state race that last time, and this is a Homestead race for Jacob Bell.
There you go.
I like what I just did.
I like what you did there. That's smooth.
Oh,
That was,
the second place driver, 5 of Garrett Grant, has come down pit road, along with the 18 car of Danny Ware.
Look at Jacob Bell go, ladies and gentlemen. Can he get up there?
Oh, whoa, we got cars sideways.
What on earth is going on here?
Honeycutt in the wall hard with Weinland. The caution's going to come out. This changes everything.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Jacob Bell stays out. Oh, my heavens, I got to see the replay. What on earth went on? It looked like people merging out.
Well, they were going through turn 1, 3 wide. Cars were sideways. Honeycutt got clipped there by the 12 of Weinland. And boy, Garrett Heath coming out saying, what in the world is going on around me? As we see the One to Go replay here from One to Go Studios. They were working on the lap car of Tyler Hallman. Honeycutt gets into the 12. Yep, and then he gets clipped right there, hard into the outside wall. Just got clipped there, and we saw that with the first yellow, where the 52 of Hallman clipped Shaquille O'Reilly, ended his night. So you see from above,
Came
just
right up
that
into
touch.
12. Yep.
Just that touch, and then that touch also hard into the wall goes Honeycutt. Nowhere to go.
Hallman down low. I mean, where else is he going to go? I know he's a couple laps down, but where else is he going to go? He's down at the line at that point.
Yeah, well, it looked like Honeycutt was going to make his move coming into turn 1. There, you'll see it from his onboard shot.
I don't know if I would have let up a little bit. Wow.
Had to move up to avoid hitting the lap car. And right here, oh, nowhere to go.
Nope. Tough night. Kid was driving great.
Yep, we got the rest of the field making pit stops, including Cameron Hearn. Jacob Bell, who was second there on the track. I was pretty sure he was going to make his pit stop soon, but that yellow coming out, this changes everything. And the 5 of Garrett Grant, currently our leader, scored as our leader. We're going to have to get a little confirmation here to double check, make sure that scoring is all right.
Now, what I believe happened there, it happens in iRacing all the time, is he made the evasive maneuver off of Hallman down low, but didn't realize that he had company high.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could. It looked to me like he was. I don't know if he was correcting as much as he was. He just looks like he got loose and went up there, but it could have had something to do with Hallman and him just reacting. You're right.
That was exactly what happened. He saw his eyes go wide as he saw he got a run on the front stretch, made his move, then didn't want to clip the lap car, and instead ended up clipping the car that he was battling with. And right now, both those guys have pretty big damage to their machines.
And rightfully so on the Honeycutt. I mean, he slammed into that wall. Well, what we thought was going to be a long, drawn-out Cameron Hearn running the gas tank dry move again. Turns out that we're going to have a little more excitement than we thought we did with 39 laps to go. This just made it a whole different race.
But these guys all still had one set of tires, and they had the fuel now. So if something happens a little later here, you watch these guys come down for rubber to try to get. There'll be strategies later if a late race caution comes into play.
Yep. Yeah, you would have to think everybody has at least one set left, right? I mean, they've only done it twice. Well, I mean, there's lap cars that obviously, like I said before, probably don't, but you know, this brings a whole new aspect.
Yep, we're less than 40 to go here at Homestead. Going to take another quick commercial break. You won't miss a thing. We'll be right back. Once again, a big thank you to those who have subscribed to the Araya Twitch channel. You're watching commercial-free coverage of the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series live at Daytona, Homestead. We were at Daytona last week, went down towards the southern end of Florida. We are in Homestead, Miami, not at Daytona.
You know, I think what you're seeing is you're seeing these cautions and this pack racing, and you think we are at Daytona. When we were at Daytona, we didn't see any cautions come out. So yeah, we kind of got a flip-flop.
Yeah, no doubt.
There you see right now, that's the leader. Garrett Grant made his pit stop just as the yellow was coming out. I'd like to welcome those back from our commercial break here. Coverage of the America's Auto Auction 210 at Homestead, brought to you by SimSpeedShop. We'd like to give a big thanks to SimSpeedShop for their support of the SimSpeedShop Cup Series this season in Araya. Racers can visit their website at www.simspeedshop.com to find multiple items to complete their virtual racing steps, such as button boxes, wheels, racing gear, and more. That is www.simspeedshop.com. Looks like the pace car is going to come in this time by. Going to have about 37 laps to go. There's the hard left turn right there from the pace car. The 5 of Garrett Grant leads the field back underway at Homestead.
And it's been called for, so I'm going to go ahead and give it. The racing has got hairier than a Sasquatch hiding in the woods, so this will be interesting. Should be a lot of 3-wide driving, too.
We had a follower through that commercial break, the Eric 101, a Honeycutt fan. Honeycutt was involved in that most recent yellow, as we're 3 wide here with the 7 of Brian Wasserman. Shout out to Wasserman. Did not give him credit for avoiding the 2 wrecked cars there. Whoa, we got some more.
This. Yeah, he didn't avoid this.
That is, speaking of the 7, they all keep it straight. Almost thought we had more wrecked cars there. It's all the 54 of Hendricks get loose, along with the 7 of Wasserman. So far, everyone keeps it clean. And in the middle of that, we had a battle for the lead. Cameron Hearn just took the lead over Garrett Grant. So you see that's the 3 of David Weishart there. But up front, the 15 of Cameron Hearn to the lead. And now here comes 25 on the outside. Yep.
I think this is just going to stay tight, Hunter. Look at that.
Here we go. That's the 21 of Ballard, along with the 77 of Bell. Going to fly past the slow machine of Garrett Grant.
This worked out well for Mr. Delonte Ballard, by the way. I thought the tires were going to kill him, but guess what? He's on the same stint now, isn't he?
Yeah, and I didn't think tires would be that much of a factor with Garrett Grant, as he's only got two laps less fresh than the drivers that pitted, but he's falling all the way back to 5th.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that might just be with you know, placement and movement and how the cars are handling too later in the race as well. So, but yeah, it's surprising to see him drop by it. But again, Grant's one of those guys that even if he gets dropped back, he has this tendency for long runs, and those long runs, he's right back on you before you know it. I wouldn't count him out at this point.
Little gap building between the 15 of Hearn and the 25 of McDaniel as he's slowly closing in right now. He might make a move here coming into turn 1, and yep, there he goes. Down on the bottom, battle for the lead. Travis McDaniel underneath the 15 of Cameron Hearn. Hearn finished 2nd last week at Daytona. He's trying to finish one spot better. Oh, the 25 is loose. Contact just barely. They keep it straight. Here comes the 21 of Ballard to pounce. He's going to move up to 2nd with Jacob L right behind him.
I thought we were going to have a moment there where Mr. Hearn was not going to get that win tonight. Boy, I tell you what.
That
25.
Oh, they are making some contact there as you see the 21 blink in and out.
But he's back.
Yep, he is back. That caught me so off guard, I dropped my notes and had to scramble for them. Man, oh man. Seriously in the back, Weishart moving up to 6th, passing the 64 of Ed Robertson.
Now, he's one that I expect will be up there running here shortly as well.
Yep.
You just can't count him out. Plus, he's running a 33.04. That's pretty impressive.
Boy, McDaniel all over the bumper of Delonte Ballard.
He's going to take another crack at this.
Going to make a move, try and move it back up to 2nd and have his eyes set on the leader. And just like that, McDaniel back in 2nd.
he's got a fast car. He's shown that all night. He just got killed on pit cycles, but now he's on with everybody else. So this is where he can shine, and he's pressuring Cameron Hearn a lot more than I thought anyone would pressure Cameron Hearn.
Well, Cameron Hearn's starting to feel a little relieved after what happened behind him, but now they're all in style. McDaniel starting to close in back on our leader, Cameron Hearn.
Looks like Jacob Bell's gaining a little bit too. Makes you wonder if he's not going to try to make a move on Delonte here in the next lap or two.
Yep, Jacob Bell currently behind the 21 of Delonte Ballard. They've been together for, say, since the restart. Here you see where the 25 starts to get his runs. He gets his runs here coming off of turn 4. And then he starts to make his move just before turn 1. You'll see it right here. He's slowly closing in. Does he make his move? No. Nope, he's going to stay tucked in.
Hey, real quick, let's shout out to Ed Robertson. I mean, he did lead a lap, if I recall. There he is, still hanging with these fast guys, and we don't talk about him much, but he's in the mix, and he's on the same stint. So shout out to Ed Robertson.
Yep. Battle for third now. Jacob Bell underneath the 21 of Delonte Ballard. Going to move him up to third. Ballard on the top. Got some help from the Northern Capital Boys behind him of Garrett Grant and David Weishart. And behind him, the 64 of Ed Robertson. Now, we saw this earlier in the race, and we could see it again. Can the 3 and the 5 work together, get up to the front?
They're certainly formidable when they do hook up, but again, I think they're running 2 different lines, Hunter. Look at Jacob Bell diving down on the 25. Boy, I tell you what, he's got some speed from somewhere.
He's trying.
Yep.
Ooh. Almost contact there from the 4th place battle with Grant and Ballard. Grant's got his teammate. Well, I did have his teammate. 3 of David Weishart pushing him.
He
thinking
can't
better
run.
of it.
Yeah, Weishart can't run as low going into the turn as he can. Did they touch?
I don't know. You can't fit a piece of paper in between those two. Ooh, they were almost touching again.
Yeah, now this has turned out to be a race, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You better lock yourself down, put the seatbelts on, because it's getting nuts right now.
Yeah, bound for 4th, not going away. The 21 of Ballard still holding in. The 3 and the 5 still bump drafting down on the bottom, but up front, it's still Cameron Hearn with McDaniel and Jacob Bell now behind. As there you see the 5, going to complete the pass here on Ballard, move him up to 4th, and now it's a battle for 5th as he's going to try and help out his teammate, Garrett Grant, completing the pass for 4th. Weishart trying to get the draft.
Yep, and there you see it. The down the stretch is where they're helping each other more than when they get to these turns. They just can't.
Clears them. Wow. The 3 of Weishart clears the 21 of Ballard, so move him up to 5th. Ballard down to 6th. Yeah. So far, these 7 cars are all under a blanket. Wow, and here's a view from one of them, being the 3 of David Weishart. He's got one of our in-car onboard, so you can see him turn into the left there. You see the orange mark there. That's the center of the steering wheel. Look at how hard he's turning.
Well, that's the thing. See, keep his hands. He can't run the same thing his teammate did, and that's what happened. Yep. Yeah, he's angry now.
Yep, the 21 of Delonte Ballard gets past the 3, so that was for the 5th spot. There you see on the outside is Jacob Bell trying to recreate the Larson line here. He's going to get the run and stay in front of the 5 of Garrett Grant, who's got some sort of speed out of that number 5 car that his teammate currently does not have.
That's a bold move. Whether it continues to work or not, I don't know that he can hold that, but he certainly, I mean, there's speed's there for Jacob. I just don't know if that's doing that by...
Oh, here he comes.
Dip down. Yeah.
This is what happens when you run the top. You get momentum boost down the straights. He's trying to make his move now through 1 and 2 down on the bottom.
Enough.
Not quite. Nope. No. The 25 of McDaniel holds on to 2nd, and that's all Cameron Hearn wanted to see. Is there you see trying to break up the draft.
Yeah, he's breaking it up. He's got to. Cameron Hearn's got to protect it, because eventually whoever breaks through past the 25 is going to be the guy that's going to put the pressure on him.
Yep, and now here comes the 5 of Grant down to the bottom of the 77. There you see more.
Don't count Delonte Ballard out. He's back in the chase again, too.
Yeah, he is. He's caught in on the battle now for 3rd. So Grant up to third, Bell down to fourth. Closer towards the rear, you see, was the 64 of Robertson, shoving now the 3 of Weishart. The 15 starting to pull away from these guys.
They've been back there playing. That's the best thing. Best thing Cameron wants to see in his rearview mirror is cars trying to pass on the outside, inside, and any other side.
Here you see the 5 trying to make his move.
Yep.
Underneath the 25, not there quite yet.
On the bumper, though. Look at him chew that up.
He's pushing the 25, and now he's going to make a move down the backstretch. Garrett Grant to the inside of Travis McDaniel. This is for the second spot. They're dead even there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Nice run. Can Jacob Bell grab onto the coattails and follow along? We'll have to see that. Still on the inside. Hasn't cleared him yet. Looks like it might be this time around.
Yep, he's going to clear him.
Yes, he does.
So move the 5 of Garrett Grant up to the second spot. Now remember, he started in the lead, and then he fell back to 5th, and now he's worked his way all the way back up to 2nd.
I'm not going to say I said it, but I've said it. This guy loves to be behind and come from nowhere. I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
Now we'll have to look at the lap times here to see who's got the faster car in the 15 of Hearn and the 5 of Grant. That last time around, Grant was just 1/10 off, but he was indeed completing the pass there on the 25 of McDaniel.
I don't think our buddy Jacob is done yet either. He's trying the different lines, but I tell you what, I think he's there where he needs to be. So this is I think the 4-car battle is gonna stay.
Yep, and there you see the 5 slowly starting to pull away from that group behind him as he's got his eyes set on Cameron Hearn coming through this time. Nearly identical lap times from the 15 and the 5.
Absolutely. That's what you want to see. Man, oh man. This is good racing. This is not what I thought it was going to end like. Even Ed Robertson's running a 34.4. So the top 5, top 6, 7, they're all running pretty similar lap times. Hearn out there every once in a while knocks one off that nobody else is doing. You almost kind of expect that.
Hearn ran nearly 2/10 faster that time by than Garrett Grant in the 5. So that's going to stretch his gap now to around 1 second over the 5 of Garrett Grant. Third place, Travis McDaniel. Fourth place, Jacob Bell. And back there, that group is so slowly starting to form for 5th. Between the 21 of Delonte Ballard, 3 of David Weishart, and the 64 of Ed Robertson.
I really wish that Davey Hendricks was closer, because I really think if he was in this mix, it'd be fun to watch him too. But the way it all worked out, I mean, he was cycling through. He's just, he's a couple laps more. He's on the same as Weishart as far as cycling goes.
Yeah, Davey Hendricks currently about 2.5 seconds behind this pack of cars there from 5th to 7th. You see, these guys can go the rest of the way on fuel, but will we see someone come in and take some tires?
Yeah. Well, we saw when they did take tires, it's a huge difference. But when do you do it so that you have enough time to get back up where they are? I mean, I would think right now you're 15 laps to go, right?
15 to go when they cross the stripe this time by our leaders here. Cameron Hearn will be nearing lap 40 on his run. Garrett Grant 42. I'd say about lap 40 to 42 for the rest of the guys. So they can definitely stretch it on fuel, but will we see someone from behind the pack come in and take tires if it needs to?
Yeah, I think there's just too much of a gap for these guys to take a chance on that at this point. I mean, I think you're almost, this is a date you took to the prom. You stick with her all the way through the race because, you can't pick up another one. So I just think they're too far back. I wouldn't take a chance. There's too much time. You're going to score well. You're getting the points that you're looking for. So It's a shame because I do believe if Hendricks was up there, I think he really would have played into the mix a little better.
Davey Hendricks running a lap time similar of the leaders.
Yep. A lot quicker than some of those guys.
Indeed, and there right behind him is Scott McClendon in the 29. But back up front, Cameron Hearn stretching his lead now to around 1.2 seconds over second place driver Garrett Grant. Things have kind of calmed down now.
Yeah, Cameron's run a good race again. Strategy did not harm him in any way. This guy just knows how to wheel a car.
Just want to hear from Harold here. Harold, how do you think the race has been going so far?
Running green, and towards the end here, that guys are all together. So, I mean, this is 7 or 8 races now. Green flag pit stops. What else can you think? What else can you ask for?
It's a great race, and they've been doing an amazing job coming down pit lane, not getting penalties, not having issues. It's been impressive. That's for sure.
That lead now stretching out to 1.4 seconds over Garrett Grant.
Yeah, unless there's an alien abduction somewhere before the last 10 laps, this is a walk in the park for Cameron Hearn right now.
Yep, very well could be, unless the 5 of Grant could be saving up his tires just a little bit, although he has been losing ground on the leader.
Yeah.
Would be kind of difficult to catch him within 10 to go.
As much as I'd love the prediction to be true, it's just not going to. It does not look like it's going to come through tonight. Again, a shout out to our buddy, though, the number 77, Mr. Jacob Bell. Heck of a race tonight. Too bad he can't get up there and get that third place podium. I'd love to talk to him in the interviews at the end.
Yeah, Jacob Bell was definitely driven from the middle of the pack up to the front. Yep. Got kind of bailed out from that caution, but he's in the right place at the right time. And
he was running good times at that point too, though. He had some good times running, so.
There's that 15 of Cameron Hearn. He's on cruise control right now.
Oh, yeah. He's probably got a sandwich in there, a drink. Probably got Montavani playing on the radio, and he's kicked back. He's probably only got 1 foot down. He's not even using anything else.
Well, I don't know if he's got a drink and a sandwich in there. I definitely think he's got the radio on, just relaxing to the peaceful lead that he's got right now.
He's cruising.
I would say most of these guys are cruising because they're all so spread out.
Good job by Brian Wasserman, by the way. You mentioned him earlier. The fact that he came out of all of those things, he's only a lap down. He's going to score out in the 15th, and it could have been a lot worse for him, that's for sure.
Looks like the battle for 5th has gone on. Ed Robertson has moved up to the top 5 now. Past Delonte Ballard and David Weinlein.
There you go, Ed Robertson. Nice job, buddy. Good looking car, too. AJR says Cameron's favorite song is Barbie Girl. Dude, you need to stop. Oh my gosh. If we were able to find out that he's driving around with I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, I'd be done. Like, I couldn't do there'd be no way to call another race. You'd have to, you know.
We'd
have to be piping that in somewhere.
Well, we certainly make it exciting, don't we?
Well, we got 6 to go here at the line, and the next time they come around will be 5 to go.
Those guys in the Fox booth and NBC would never talk about or sing Barbie Girl, so we've got one up on them.
As we mentioned, that pack in the back is slowly but surely caught up. As you see, Hendricks moved up to 7th now with Weishart there in the 8th spot now.
Yes, man. That kind of stings a little bit. I really think that 54 car had something. Just didn't work out for him the way it worked in strategy. Going around Delonte now on the inside, taking that position.
Yep, moved the 54 up to 6th, Ballard back to 7th. Weiss starts falling back to 9th. Now McClendon moved up and got the 8th spot.
Beautiful stroll down a park lane here almost.
Down the front stretch of Homestead. We've got 4 to go now in tonight's America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan 210.
Fantastic cameras, by the way, Hunter. Tonight. Yeah, we haven't had to miss any. Great shot here down that infamous, beautiful back stretch of palm trees.
The foul for 9th starting to heat up as the 18 of Danny Ware closes in on David Weishart.
Wow, the 12 about to get lapped. Now, how about that? Eric Weinland in the sights of Cameron Hearn.
Eric Weiland was involved in that most recent caution. It did not take the 12 out of the race. It did take the 67 of Ryan Honeycutt out of the race also. The 52 of Tyler Holman's just retired from the race.
He had a rough night tonight. It's unlike Tyler Hallman, but I'm sure he'll be back and ready to go.
Yeah, Tyler Hallman involved in that lap 8 yellow along with the 2 of Shaquille O'Reilly. The second week in a row, Shaquille O'Reilly an early DNF. The first one was from internet issues on his own, and then the second one being tonight, just getting clipped by the 52 of Hallman, and that's kind of set off his race, which led up to our second yellow, in which the 12 of Weiland and the 67 of Honeycutt were in the middle of a battle. Honeycutt, trying to avoid the lap card, got into the 12, created that second yellow, which all mumbo jumboed the field up, and it brought the 15 of Cameron Hearn to the lead. It's going to come off turn 4 and take the white flag here. 1 to go, presented by 1 to Go Studios.
What a run. What a run.
Yep, Cameron Hearn was leading earlier on in the middle of that battle between Garrett Heath. Heath not even in the top 10 anymore. But he came down pit road and pit under that first yellow. Took optional repairs to make his car 100%. And since then, it's been racing like 100%. He's going to come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Lap traffic won't be a factor. Cameron Hearn finished second last week at Daytona. He's going to get the job done here at Homestead. He wins the America's Auto Auction 210.
Excellent run. Garrett Grant, number 5, coming in second after coming again from way back in the field as usual. And Travis McDaniel in third on the podium. Great job.
Rounding out the top 5, Jacob Bell in the 77, and Ed Robertson getting the top 5.
That's a heck of a run. Davey Hendricks still coming down. Again, I'm going to stick with it. I think if he was up front with that group of 5, he'd have been up there running hard too. So Delonte Ballard in 7th, Dave Weishart in 8th, Danny Ware in 9th.
There you see the 15, Cameron Hearn going down the front stretch.
Burn him
Gonna
down.
make a hard right, doing some victory burnouts. From the Valley in South Carolina to Victory Lane at Homestead is Cameron Hearn. He led 61 of our 140 laps, the most of any driver tonight.
Beautiful night for racing, beautiful race. A lot of intrigue at the end, which we didn't think we would have. Doing the Polish victory lap here is a wonderful thing, except nobody's on the back stretch. But I like it. Good touch.
Gets a salute to the safety workers there in the infield.
There you go. They didn't have to do a whole lot tonight. A couple times they had to be used.
The Polish victory lap, first done by Alan Kulwicki in the number 7. And we all know how good of a driver he was, and Cameron Hearn paying tribute to that as well. Goes all the way around. Yeah. going to complete it here as he comes down the front stretch backwards.
Hendry Dirt gave a shout out to Big Jake for the top 5 finish. We're just as proud as you are. Yeah, grab that checkered flag there, son.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring up our winner here. The number 15 of Cameron Hearn joins us in the booth. Cameron, it's Hunter Ken and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Boy, oh boy, what a race you had. I mean, you were battling up front at the beginning. Then that first yellow came out. You took a while with your pit stop. Kind of take us through what went down in the pit lane.
Yeah, I got a cast on my left hand, and I didn't have a downshift, and I was worried about I couldn't reach the paddle on my left-hand side, so I had to hit it to program a button. So that's what I was doing, to program a button, because I didn't want to come in and green flag stops and not get the gear down and kind of help to slow the car down. So just trying to think about the long run, and luckily was able to work my way up and follow the Samson guys through the field.
So you're telling us that you just ran that you just dogged them and walked them with a cast on your hand. Dude, that's amazing. Nice job out there tonight. Anything you saw that, you said to yourself when you were back there, I'm going to have a problem getting to the front, or were you pretty confident you had the car to get up there?
Travis was real fast on the short run.
Yep.
Garrett was fast on the long run. And I kind of felt like I was in between those guys. But I really feel like clean air was where you wanted to be. And I felt like first 10 laps on that restart, those guys, the draft is a huge effect. You have fresh tires. The aero push really doesn't matter as much. But then I started pulling away a little bit. And then that's really where you saw the fresh air really make the difference on the long run coming to the finish. And I was just glad Travis raced me hard. I think he had a run on the inside of me, and I was able to kind of pinch him down so he couldn't get a run on the outside. But I think it could have been a lot different if he would have got in front of me and then I had the aero push.
Amen.
Yep. Any special shout outs you want to give before you celebrate your win?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. I enjoy watching it. Like I said, it's an awesome display. There's a lot of cool things, and you guys talk about it. And it's crazy that somebody in chat knows my favorite song. So that is cool.
I sang it for you, dude.
But no, it was just the league admins, everybody involved. It's a huge. There's a lot of fast guys in here. We got a little bit over 20 guys showing up, and hopefully we had a couple new guys tonight show up. But the racing we have, the minimal cautions we have, it's just a fun experience. I want to give a shout out to all my teammates at VRA who ran tonight. I appreciate those guys. Elwood Designs who helped make this car, so I'm not driving this not Cameron Hearn car anymore. And then the SimSpeedShop, Northern Capital Lodgebach, and Swift Lifestyles, all those guys. I just appreciate all the support. And like I said, it's a great start to the season. All the different nights of the week, everybody's clicking. I'm just excited for things to continue.
All right, well, yeah, great job. Finished second last week. Finishes a spot bearer this week. Your winner, Cameron Hearn.
All right, thank you.
Yep, number 15, Cameron Hearn, finishing in first place here tonight. And we're going to go ahead and bring up our second place driver here, the number 5 of Garrett Grant. Coming home second. Garrett, this is Hunter, Harold, and Ken in the booth. Got a copy?
Sir, I do. I got you.
All right. Well, you surely seem to be the faster of the Northern Capital cars. You were better on the long run. So kind of take us through what went down there on that last restart.
I don't know. They put a funky set of tires on me or something. I was not expecting it to be that free going into 1 and 2 there. It wasn't like that all night. I mean, I went in there a little cautious too, and it stepped out on me on exit. And Cameron got beside me, and then it stepped out on me again coming out of 4, and I knew I just had to try to sit back and chill from that point because the right rear was hot, that's for sure, and I just couldn't keep the rear under it there on that last restart, and that ultimately cost me the race because Cameron got out there in clean air and could just kind of control the pace of the race, and I got caught up battling with some guys there, and by the time I got clear, everybody the right front was pretty much gone.
So typical Garrett Grant drive, you get caught back somewhere, the mess happens, and yet you still find a way to come forward. Just so you know, Garrett, you were my pick at the beginning. You almost made me seem like the best mind in racing, but clearly I'm not. But take us through. You see the accident happen. You know where you're starting off. Did you think at this point, okay, this is where I shine? I do the long runs. I should be able to reel them in.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was going to play right in my favor. I'm not very good at leading and controlling the pace. I tend to burn my stuff off. That's why I kind of like to lay back a little bit, but I just felt like I couldn't do that. I felt like I was going to lose more falling back and then trying to cut up through those guys. So I was trying to stay out in front of Cameron there and control the pace of the race like he did there. But unfortunately, that's not what went down.
All right, Garrett, you want to give any special shout outs, sponsors, anything like that before you go?
Yeah, I got to thank Northern Capital, Russ and Steve Anderson for sponsoring the car. Tried to get him to win tonight. Felt like I should have swept the week here in the Truck and Xfinity Cup, but I'll definitely take the second place, that's for sure. And thanks to SimSpeedShop for sponsoring the series, and you guys for broadcasting, and Jacob for putting all this on for us.
Well, we appreciate you going out there, putting on the show. Bounced back from Daytona, coming home second, the number 5, Garrett Grant. Thank you, Garrett.
Great job.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Right, that was Garrett Grant, the number 5. And here's our third place finisher, Travis McDaniel, in the number 25. Travis, it's Hunter, Ken, and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so it was your first race tonight. Had a good qualifying session. Had one of the faster cars in the field. Just kind of take us through how your whole night's been.
Yeah, we got that caution pretty early there, and I didn't come into pit. I figured we was gonna get another caution, and then once we got going, I realized that I was gonna run out of gas, so I had to change my strategy real quick. So I went to a 31, 31, 31 run and got that caution in the middle there. Thank God we didn't have another one there at the end because I didn't have any tires left. So thank God we ran 40 clean at the end.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We were talking about it as we were watching. We kept thinking, man, I wonder if everybody has a set of tires. So you're saying you didn't. Take me through your mindset when you found out, okay, I've got a super fast car, but the cycling has just thrown me off. I mean, are you thinking at any point, I'm going to be where I finished tonight? I mean, you finished on a podium, but there was a point in the middle of the race where I thought to myself, gosh, this guy's fast, but how's he going to get back up there?
Yeah, I didn't know. I was trying to kind of figure out in my head the seconds and the gaps and everything at certain points during runs to see if I was going to be able to get back up there. And I don't know if I could have. There was going to be about 10 laps difference from when the leaders pit and when I pit, and
Yep.
I don't know if the gap I had built up was going to be enough. So it was going to be close, but I was going to run out of gas, and I figured that was better than coming in with 5 to go and having a top off, but go back out there on old tires and run 34.5-second lap. So it's a decision I made, and I mean, luckily it caught me in the middle of a pit cycle there, and we got some people pinned a lap down and got the wave around, so it got me starting in 4th there. I was able to get up to 3rd.
Hey, man, great run.
Yep. Any special shout outs, sponsors you want to give before you celebrate your third place finish?
Yeah, thanks to Jacob for letting me run. I'm going to be part-time this year, probably once every 3 races at best. So thanks to him for letting me run on a part-time basis, and I know we had some viewers tonight, so appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully we put on a good show, and thank you guys for broadcasting, and at least I beat one of them Samson boys.
Well, coming home in third place, putting on the show, Travis McDaniel. Thanks for coming up, bud.
Thank you.
That was third place finisher, Travis McDaniel, making his Cup debut and on a part-time basis. So every now and then we'll see that 25 car roaming around the racetrack. There you see. Let's take a look at our finishing results here. The America's Auto Auction 210. The winner being Cameron Hearn in the 15, followed by Garrett Grant in 2nd, Travis McDaniel 3rd, Jacob Bell 4th, and rounding out the top 5, very impressive top 5 for the 64 of Ed Robertson.
The 54 of Davey Hendricks comes from way back and finishes in 6th. Delonte Ballard in 7th spot. David Weishart had an up and down night, finishes in 8th, and Danny Ware just kind of stayed right around that 9th spot. Scott McClendon in the 29, finishing out in the top 10.
11th through 15th here, Christian DeBoer had a quiet night, but a nice run for him. Garrett Heath in the 23, finishing 12th. Eric Weinland in 13th, Matt Alberson 14th, and Brian Wasserman 15th.
16 down through 20, got 99, Dean Prince, Blair Patterson, Tyler Hallman, thinking a little more from him, but Ryan Honeycutt was in that accident, slammed into the wall, and Kyle Knapp down in 20th.
And then rounding out the 21st spot, Shaquille O'Reilly. Hopefully things will look up for him as we head into Auto Club next week. Next Thursday night, we'll be at Auto Club here, running over 105 laps. Now let's take a look at our race recap presented by Elwood Designs. Cameron Hearn led the most laps tonight at 61 and was your race winner. We had 2 yellows for 7 laps, one being a lap 8 and then one being within that 40 to go window. And the 21 of Delonte Ballard had the fastest lap with a 32.595.
How about that? That is not the name I thought we'd say was the fastest lap. Great job.
No, but he was flying there as he was one of the first drivers to come in and pit under green, so he put the new tires to his advantage. So final thoughts here, guys, before we wrap it up.
Great race. I mean, again, we got halfway through. I thought we weren't going to have what we did. Caution comes out, someone trying to just avoid, and man, did it put an exciting race on for us. Beautiful track, guys ran everywhere. I like it.
Yep, Harold, got any final thoughts?
We'll be heading to California next week for the Xfinity and Cup Series, heading to Iowa for the ARCA and the trucks. So it's one of our rare split sessions next week. Most of the time we'll be at the same track for all 4 nights. But man, definitely looking forward to the racing as we continue, going now 8 for 8 for green flag pit stops.
Yeah, man.
Yep, forgot to touch on that. 8 out of 8 so far with green flag pit stops in every single race for Araya. Just shows the cleanliness of the drivers, and including in ARCA and trucks where we typically have more drivers in near a full 40 field. So that's really impressive to see. You can catch our next broadcast Monday night where the Araya Swift Lifestyle Pro Series goes to Iowa, 140 laps there. And you can catch our next broadcast for the Cup Series next Thursday when we go to Auto Club for 105 laps. From everyone here in the booth, Harold Darner, our producer, Ken Kushwa, I am Hunter Sleppy saying so long, and we'll see you next time.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.